but we are going to give you hope in a minute, I promise. And Jack Lemmon won the Oscar for Best Actor for that. So, you know,
Yeah.
you've 7 actors have won Oscars under your direction, I believe?
Well, I was very lucky to get Jack, as opposed to other stars I've worked with. This was the first big-time star, and wow, what a! I always said that Lemmon was a peach. He is just. He had seen Joe and liked Joe and called me up in the middle of the night, and this is Jack. I said, and I figured it's some friend, and it was him, and he wanted me to come out and meet him. So, and I had the long hair and the beards and the velvet blue jeans with daisies on my butt. I mean, so I go out to meet Jack Lemmon, and I said, I've always liked you in the movies, but if you choose me to do this, I don't want to see you in this. And he said, that's right, kid. He said, keep your eyes open. Because he understood, I was talking about all his mannerisms. So at the end of a take, if I didn't have a smile on my face, he'd say, should I do it without the eyebrow? And I said, yeah, without the eyebrow. So he was, he couldn't, or if he had an idea, and I didn't respond to it right away, he'd say, hey, look, if you want to do that, you go ahead. Me, I think it's a terrible idea. So it really made it easy for me.
And, you know, we're talking about a time there where we see in those 2 movies, Joe and Save the Tiger, a very dark vision, self-examination of America. And again, I'm talking to my students about that. There was Watergate.
Mr. President, sir. What is it? They left a ransom note. Oh, careful. The FBI hasn't had a chance to go over it.
If you want to see your kid again, you will have to go on national TV and screw your wife live and in color in a coast-to-coast hookup. No tricks. We mean business. Suggest Sat night. After all in the family.
The Vietnam War.
What is he taking pictures for?
This is going to be part of the movie.
You're interviewing people on the street, and then you're inviting them to take...
Right, then you can come up to our apartment where we have some other folks there that are there to do anything you'd like, and we'll pay you. And you can direct the movie.
Would you like to cast the picture now?
And I did 2 hardcore films for him, one day each. Yeah.
What kind of things you doing?
Oh, semi-acting and bawling.
The oil crisis, terrorism had become a phenomenon that was much thought about. And then we moved forward a couple of years, and now you're making Rocky. And we're...
Yeah, but let's keep in mind that there were 2 writers involved, Norman Wexler and Steve SHAGAN, who were affected by these times and took pen to paper. And that's what it starts with. And if it ain't on the page, you can have all these tricks that they've got here and big stars, and everybody will be sound asleep. If the story's not working, it's, you know, you're in the wrong place. So I had the great good fortune of working with some really terrific writers. Speaking of which, Sylvester Stallone, because the Rocky script.
I wonder how many people could honestly say they've never reenacted that in the privacy of their own room. I was one of those high school kids trying to do the one-handed push-ups and failing.
Well, and there's a book of people running up the stairs who've come from around the world. And the reason we were able to shoot that thing was Garrett Brown's camera, the Steadicam. This was the second time it had been used, and it didn't even have a name when we were using it. And Ralph HOTCHKISS, an assistant cameraman friend of mine, said, you know, a friend of mine has this new camera, he's got a reel, would you like to see it? And I said, sure. And so we're out at MGM in Culver City, and there's his wife Ellen running up the steps. And I said, I know just where this is gonna go.
Where do you find find your inspiration, especially for scenes like this, which are very physical? You know, do you constantly take notes, or do you wait to see what you find on the set? I know you do a lot of preparation, but how much does serendipity or just observation of life play into what
If you're
putting?
lucky, you get serendipity, but in case it doesn't show up, you better do your homework. And, you know, and figure out how you're gonna do it. And now with everybody having a video camera, you can shoot everything, you know, and then look at it and say, yeah, that's not so bad, or, ugh, that's terrible, you know, and you can cut it together. So by the time what I call the circus shows up, you've got to know exactly what you're doing. You've got storyboards, everybody's got a copy of it, you know the shots before lunch, and you're organized. Now, if somebody should get an idea or whatever, great, but in the meantime, you're covered. You're not saying, now where should we put the camera?
And you know, when a film like this ends up having such a cultural impact and becoming iconic, I'm very curious to know, what does that do to you personally as the filmmaker? Does it scare you?
More likely I'll get another job.
That's very practical.
Right.